two great apostles of network of charity, Blessed Frederic Ozanam and Rosalie Rendu. 19th century France witnessed two great saints who changed the face of not only of France but also the face of the world with the network of charity. Blessed Rosalie is known as the Apostle of Moffetta district. Sister Rosalie was a dedicated, fervent, zealous, audacious daughter of charity with fire in her heart. She loved and served both the rich and the poor. She was awarded the Cross of the Legion of Honor by Emperor Napoleon for her outstanding work of charity. She is known even today as a friend of the rich and of the poor. Turning the pages of history, we may see some persons who have changed suddenly or gradually. Here is Blessed Frederic Ozanam, who changed with a challenging question from Jean brought. Jean challenged. Christianity did wonders in the past, but it is now dead. You who boast of being Catholic, what you do? Where are the works that prove your faith? Ozanam, who was 20 and defended the church, felt that they need to go beyond faith. He asked his friends, "What must we do to live our Catholicism? Let us no longer talk so much about charity." A young student's verbal assault on the church became the seed that would give birth to the Society of St. Vincent de Paul later. On 23rd April 1833, on the 20th birthday of Frederic Ozanam, along with his other 6 friends, they began an initial inspiration, the Conference of Charity. Later it was called the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. Today, it is the largest Catholic charitable society across the world with more than 6 million members in 145 countries. These young 6 men were not having any direct experience in the service of the poor. They needed guidance, and they approached 47-year-old daughter of charity, Sister Rosalie Rendu, the Apostle of the Moffetta district, who would accompany them on their first steps in visiting those who were poor in their homes, which they had chosen as the goal of the Conference of Charity. Sister Rosalie knew all the indigent workers and their families, along with the sick and elderly living in that area. Thus, Conference of Charity, with the guidance of Sister Rosalie, began a network of charity that would encircle the world. In 1838, Ozanam wrote, "Now, in place of the imitation of Christ, we read the life of St. Vincent de Paul, so as to be more imbued with his examples and traditions. He is a life that we must continue, a heart where we must warm our hearts, and intelligence where we must seek light." There was no question as to who among them was the founder, as with Vincent Improves founder. Before them it was God. There are 2 other areas in which Sister Rosalie influenced the Society of St. Vincent de Paul: the patronage of St. Vincent and the first rule of the society. First, the patronage of St. Vincent de Paul. From its earliest days, the members of the Conference of Charity had devotion to St. Vincent de Paul, but it is especially due to Sister Rosalie, under whose gentle guidance these generous and enthusiastic young men became Vincentians. They learned from Sister Rosalie that charity is neither philanthropy nor socialism. It is much more and can only be nourished by faith. Blessed Frederic Ozanam reveals it through a letter to Louis Jan Motte. It seems that we must see in order to love and see God only with the eyes of faith, and our faith is so weak. But we see persons with our bodily eyes. They are there, and we can place our finger and hands into their wounds, and we can say with the Apostle Saint Thomas, "My Lord and my God." Secondly, the first rule of the Society of Saint Vincent de Paul. As with the first rule of the Daughters of Charity, the first rule of the Society also was the result of lived experience. For 2 years, the first conference had given themselves to God to serve Jesus Christ in the person of those who are poor under the guidance of Sister Rosalie. This humble daughter of charity exemplified for them the essential attributes of Vincentian service. The conference that began in 1833 increased in number and members and in the places in different countries. In 1860, with 2,500 conferences and more than 5,000 members, and it increased rapidly day by day. At the end of 2019, the members reached 22,50,000 in 156 countries. Many of the members have become priests. Even we have popes who were members of Society of Saint Vincent de Paul. Saint John Paul II gladly testified it, and the society in which in holiness with many like Saint Gianna Molla, Saint Raphael from Brazil, Saint Riccardo from Italy, and many blesseds and servants of God, including Blessed Frederic Ozanam, Giorgio Frassati, etc. On the feast day of Blessed Frederic Ozanam, he reminds us once again, all can help the poor with a good deed or a kind word, and the blessing of the poor is the blessing of God.